How are you, Kliff?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you had two guys make the Pro Bowl, Jaden and Terry. Just, what does that mean to you in this offense to see those two make it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team sport. DQ brought that up. Everybody's attached to everybody else, and it's a great compliment of those guys in their work ethic, how they prepare, and just how they show up every day. They're two of the premier players and people in the NFL, so it's cool to see them get recognized.
Chris Rodriguez has had some good moments when he's come in for you. How have you seen him improve, even from training camp? And he says he's feeling more comfortable. Where do you see that?
Yeah, just repetition. New offense that he hadn't played in anything, I don't think, remotely close to kind of what we do. And so there's a comfort level there. He's worked really hard at preparation, prepared like a starter, even when he was doing scout team. And the scout team reps were really good. And so when his number was called, he played at a high level. And the other night, I mean, that's why we had him in on that last drive. He was hot and playing well and helped us win the game.
Understanding the playoffs are still a week away, but when the matchup will happen, however it happens, is there any, with the short week, you got to prep quickly to face a team that you've already faced versus one that is just brand new?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the playoffs is such a different beast as far as intensity and focus and how it ratchets up from, I just had the one experience as a head coach that whoever you're playing, it's going to be a different type of game, and so I don't think it really does much. We played LA 3 times, the third time, the one time, and that was unique because you're kind of tired of playing them at that point. They're really good, but I think if it's just a second time, it's such a different experience in the playoffs. I don't think it has too much bearing on it.
And OZ's obviously picked up a lot of the production the last couple of weeks. I don't know if anything has changed necessarily, but why has he been able to be so productive the last couple of weeks? Yeah,
his number's been called with Noah going down. The opportunity has been there. He's gotten more reps, and he's a guy that in training camp I was blown away by just how talented he was inside, outside. I actually used to call him Oz for the first 2 months of knowing him, and nobody would tell me that his name wasn't Oz, even him. And so one day, Diami comes up, he's like, yo, dude, he really doesn't like Oz. I'm like, well, it literally says OZ. He's like, it's OZ. So it's like the widest mistake ever. But he has forgiven me, and he's played really well. But great person, works really hard. It's cool to see him take advantage of his chances.
I don't even know what to ask after that. I feel like we've asked some version of this multiple times, but I mean, how much did you know about Terry before you got here, and has any part of his game surprised you a bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just from afar, was a fan, just the way he attacked the ball in the air and ran through smoke, and had heard great things about his work ethic and personality. But I think just the intensity each and every day that he shows up. I mean, he's dialed in, he's locked in, he's running full speed routes, whether it's a drill. There's a level of focus there that is rare for anybody in the NFL, and day in, day out, he brings it, and then it's been showing up on game, especially a guy that we don't target a ton. We should definitely try to target more, and I think as we evolve as an offense, that'll get there, but he doesn't have as many targets as some of the premier guys and still has incredible production.
Do you want to be a head coach again?
Yeah, I'm sure at some point. Yeah, at some point.
Do you plan to interview for jobs this year?
I won't comment on that, but yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. But I'm very happy here. Yeah, this has been an awesome place, and has really helped me kind of rekindle my love for the sport.
And last one, but what did you learn from your first stint, and what would you be looking for? Yeah,
I think the first one, I didn't know what I didn't know, really. Coming from college, I had bounced around on teams as a player, but not as a coach on any level. And so to come in there, I don't think I set the foundation the way I would do it after watching DQ and how he set the foundation from day one. And it was, these are the standards. This is what we won't compromise. This is what we're going to be. I definitely could have done a better job of that. And kind of once you don't lay it out like that, it's hard to put it back in. It's hard to kind of reset it. And I think that's where he's done such a great job. It's like, this is what we're going to be from day one. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, and the guys bought in, and he's led in an incredible way by doing that.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
As far as the conversation goes on whether or not you guys should really go full bore to try to win this weekend, momentum is a big topic of conversation. Do you believe that winning this game against Cowboys this weekend can give you momentum into the playoffs, or do you think that's kind of a convoluted topic?
No, I think, I'm speaking from an offensive perspective, but we haven't played as well as we can play for the last 3 weeks. We've found ways, I think, in critical moments, we've been really good, and we've played hard, and the effort and resiliency has allowed us to win the games, but we haven't come close. Just the execution, play in, play out of what I've seen us be. And so I think for us, we need to play our way into that. It can't wait till the players say, hey, we're going to turn it up and we're going to get it going. And so for me, from that perspective, I'm excited about all of our guys playing and just trying to take another step as an offense.
And then you talked about playoff football being pretty different from regular season football, given that this is obviously going to be Jaden's first time in the postseason. You have some experience with a young quarterback in that situation. Have you given any specific thoughts to what you might do to help him prep for that different style of football?
No. He's a very focused, very competitive person. So I think everything I've seen thus far has been he's been up to the challenge, and the bigger the moment, the better he plays.
Hey, Coach. So the offensive line is yet again another week of dealing with some injuries and having to kind of combat that during the game as well. So what can you say about that position group and just the overall versatility and resilience of that group?
Yeah, it's been incredible. A group that was pretty maligned to start the season, really, and you look what they've been able to do with some of the injuries and continue to produce, and whether it's running the football or critical moments. Been really proud of that group. Bobby Johnson's done a tremendous job of building a culture in there where it's next man up and nobody blinks when something happens. So that's been really fun to be a part of.
And then going to the running backs, I know we've talked a bit about how to get that run game going, but there were definitely some moments on Sunday where they really made it happen. Jeremy McNichols on the 4th and 5 looked like he was short, and he was able to make it. So what can you say about that group as well?
The same thing. Jeremy's a guy who is just day in, day out, whatever you need him to do, he's going to do. If it's pick up a blitz, he'll do that. The 4th and 5, just the awareness to know he had to get that, or else that game's probably over if we don't get that. Those are plays he's been making all year. So it's been a group that whoever we ask to go in and get it done in critical moments gets it done, and I think that's the greatest compliment I can give in the biggest moments that they've really shown up.
You mentioned wanting to win, but obviously with the playoffs on the horizon, how difficult is it, or how much consideration do you give putting into a game plan, trying to win the game without putting in something new that you're trying to save or have ready to go for the playoffs?
Yeah, we're going to call the best game possible here. Yeah, we're not going to save anything at this point. We're going to try and play, like I said, I think our biggest focus just on the offense is, hey, let's take a next step before we get to the playoffs, and then say, hey, I wish we would have really focused on getting better before we got there, because it's too late at that point. And so we're going to empty the clip, if you will, and try and play as well as we can as an offense.
One big picture question. The team has scored the 3rd most points single season franchise history, could get to number 2 with a reasonable amount this weekend. Did you foresee in the summer this team being this effective, scoring this many points this year?
I knew we were a lot better than people thought just watching spring football and training camp. The quarterback, obviously, he jumped out immediately. Like, he has a feel for this game and what we're trying to do, and was effective throughout both. But I think like Austin Eckler, that people for some reason thought had lost a step, or Zach Ertz, and then Terry is Terry, but like Noah Brown, getting him and the things he was able to do, and then watching the O-line, like I knew we'd be better, but this group's really gelled and played at a high level. I don't know if I thought we would be where we're at offensively, but they've grown together. The quarterback has protected the football, and overall we protected the football, and then been great on 4th down. I think that's a huge stat that people in this day and age in football, if you are over 80% on 4th down, you're giving yourself a lot of extra possessions and a lot of extra points that way.
Where do you get, when you design new plays, what's some of the unique places that you go for, like either inspiration or just to like pull from?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff is done in the offseason with college. I watch a ton of college stuff in the offseason, and I just try to watch every offense throughout the week around the NFL and just see what people are doing. I'm flying through it. You have to prepare for the opponent, but I always like to try and glean ideas from what everybody else is doing.
Coach, talk about the 4th down part. Going back last week, 3 touchdowns came off drives with 4th down, and go to 1 4th down touchdown. Is there a part of you that says, like, that's great, but we need to not have to rely on those 4th downs, or is there part of you that's team that says, well, we're a team that will go down 4 on 4th downs to get this?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both, but when DQ, he does a great job on the headset of, hey, you got 4 downs here. It really allows you as a play caller to have an open book. And maybe there's some times on 3rd down you would have thrown it that you're able to run it and surprise them. And so I think having that aggressive nature, you've seen a lot more teams kind of steer in that direction. Philadelphia in our division is one of them that consistently does it. I think it helps the mentality of the offense and the mentality of the play caller knowing, hey, we got 4 here. So 3rd down is really an open book on that in that scenario. Yeah, he had let me know. He'll even let me know distance. Hey, we get to 4th and 3 here. It's a go. And so I can kind of plan accordingly as we get closer.
How often would you take a play from a player? Like, do you take that and when's the last time you took one to a player that's like, hey, that was a great call?
It's pretty much weekly. There will be somebody that has something. Zach Ertz brings about 12 Kliffs a week of his Eagles days and catching touchdowns, so you got to be careful of that. But if a guy sees something or they saw something, they'll send a text or a play. I mean, if they believe in it, this is what I found, they usually make it work. I could think it's the worst play call of all time, but if they brought it, they have passion for it, and they believe in it, they'll usually make it work.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank y'all.